Hi, I'm Taryn Sacramone. I'm the Executive Director of Queens Theatre. I want to thank you for being here with us tonight. This is the first gala that we have hosted in the Claire Shulman Playhouse since the passing of the amazing, the singular Claire Shulman. This theater and many other organizations across this borough would not have existed without Claire being the champion for culture that she was. For me, Claire was the most extraordinary leader that I ever met. I met her after her time as being the Queens Borough President, but Claire was very much in charge. I don't think that there is anybody in the borough of Queens who would possibly deny that. Every minute of her life, she was in charge. She's in charge today. Her leadership still resonates because she was such an incredible mentor. There are people throughout this borough who ask themselves every day, what would Claire do? And this borough is better for it. We wanted to talk to a few of her close friends and a co-star about Claire Shulman, who she was, and her legacy. We had the pleasure of having Claire not just be a friend off stage at the theater, but actually memorably perform on stage as well.
Claire Shulman was the borough president of Queens.
She went into a career that was one of the two careers that a nice girl could go into then. You know, if you were good in school, you liked math and science, you became a nurse.
You know, I thought, gee, what a nice thing. Maybe I should be a nurse. I was in the trolley car on Nostrand Avenue going to Brooklyn College. And there was a cardboard up on the ceiling that said, join the Cadet Nurse Corps and help the war effort. I said, gee, I think I can be a nurse. And so I pursued it.
She was an active mother, was part of the Mothers Club, and became president of the Mothers Club.
And I kind of got interested in government. I thought maybe I could do this.
From there, she became deputy borough president, and so widely respected, she became borough president after that.
Bright light of integrity and incompetence and goodwill. She was just a wonderful person. Very rarely did we ever meet together without wind up smiling. She brought out the smiles in people.
Claire's negotiating style was to be strong.
Very strong. She liked to be the person who knew everything.
She knew when to pull out her motherly, and she was very motherly.
She was, in a lot of ways, a Jewish mother. So she would be tough with us, but fiercely loyal. Her whole interest in government was serving people. And it wasn't in just one area. It was everything. It was housing, it was education, it was job creation, it was parks, and it was culture.
But you see, this is not glamour. This is not newspaper stuff. This is hard work on a day-by-day basis.
And in making a decision, she always said, you know, I rely on a great staff to give me the facts.
And believe me when I tell you, I couldn't have done any of it without the staff I had. I had the best staff in the city.
And she would get really good people to work for her because she knew how to accomplish things.
No one knew Queens County the way she knew Queens County. Claire and I tried to do at all times, no matter what, was to reach a consensus. But everybody working together can do an awful lot.
And she could make you laugh.
She had a great sense of humor. And we performed in the Queens Theatre in the Park every year. The best comedy team that ever existed was me and Claire, doing a takeoff in Casablanca. Instead of reading her lines, she looked at me and said, "You don't look like Humphrey Bogart." And I turned to her, "Who the hell do you think you are, Ingrid Bergman?" And that broke up the whole audience. I broke into hysterics, and so did she. And I don't think we ever stopped laughing, and I don't think the audience ever stopped laughing.
Thanks to us.
Claire put cultural organizations on the map in Queens.
Queens Theatre was its central location, so many different communities being benefited, having access, fairly easy access to culture. And I think that was what was really important to her.
She envisioned this theater as a place where people from local neighborhoods can come and see really great theater right in their backyard. So we see, you know, her legacy just about in every Queens cultural institution. This theater, Queens Museum, the Science Museum was a dripping building, and she walked in and said, no, I'm going to make this a science museum.
I think the lasting legacy is how to be a really good public official and how to be able to treat people so that you could work together. What was important was, can you do the job? Can we able to do something for Queens?
But then she lifted you up and brought you forward and had this wonderful way of getting the best out of you. And I loved her. I loved her dearly.
I was there. I was borough president for 16 years, and I loved every minute of it.
Fortunately, maybe, you know, it was riding on that trolley one day and seeing the sign, be a cadet, that you became a cadet, not in nursing, which you were, but a cadet for the city of New York, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you for inviting me, Michael. It's been a pleasure.